Yes, welcome. Today we will talk a little bit about Aerofly FS 4 flight simulator. I call it the forgotten flight simulator because all flight simulators just is flying Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane or DCS or maybe Flight Gear. Today we will talk about Aerofly FS4 and here we are in the main menu. We are running on the latest beta and we will start for an end with the menu system, with the aircraft, with the settings, and in the end we will take a little flight around some place in the US or in Europe. We start with the controls. Here you can set up the controls for your for the flight simulator. We have the essential controls. It is just the standard controls here, and here you can set the aileron, the elevator, the rudder, the throttle, flaps, gear, air brake, pause, and autopilot master. I can say I use a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick. I have also a Thrustmaster T-Flight Hotas 1 Xbox joysticks. I don't have an Xbox, but it can run on a PC also. I run on Windows 11, and here you can see my settings for my joystick. We can take the elevator, we can take the aileron, rudder, and the throttle, and we have the buttons. So here you set up the joystick button, the essential joystick buttons. In the next we go to the general settings. Here is the settings for the airplane. And here you can see you can set buttons and you can set the keyboard keys. And this is my setup with my Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick. We can also set settings for helicopter that you are doing here. If you have a specified helicopter joystick, you can choose the settings here. And we go to the autopilot. If you have a joystick with a lot of buttons, maybe the TCA, the Thrustmaster TCA Airbus or Boeing series, you can set up extra buttons here to activate the autopilot and the auto throttle, speed mode, heading mode. You have many choices here. Here we have for the navigation, communications, the views, how to shift the views, change the views in the simulator. Here is the simulator page where you can set up keys for the moving map, the flight information, the HUD, the center view for the virtual reality, the landmarks, and take screenshots and step forward and so on. Here is some application setups. We have the lights we can set up here, and we have the sound. If you have a multi-engine joystick for multi-engine, if you have 2 throttle controls or 4 throttle controls, you can set them up here. You can set up for a twin prop, a twin jet, and a 4-engine jet. And then you can see here is the twin prop, the twin jet, and the 4-engine jet you have here. And here we can see the input device, Logitech Extreme 3D Pro USB. And here you can have some settings and the sensitivity and the dead zone, and you can check the axis here. You can check the axis, order, slider. See that all buttons is working before you set up your joystick. We go back. Then we go to the settings. We have the general. We can set up plug information, approach code, landmarks. You can select your language here, but this is just my settings. We have the flight assistant. If you have all this on, you can make a flight plan in the navigation planner. You can make a flight plan. You can place the airplane on the runway and press the C as co-pilot on the keyboard, and your plane will fly automatically. But today I will just demonstrate how to fly, so we don't need this. I use it sometimes for the most in my videos. I have flown for many years, but I'm not good in landings and I'm not good in big airliners. So, but we put it off to this demo. Then we have traffic. We have traffic in this new version of Aerofly. Traffic in there. The traffic fly after real air traffic routes, so you will see other planes in the air when you are up in the sky. And you can turn it on or off here, or how much traffic you will have in the simulator. Okay, the next one is the graphic settings. I have a monitor with 165 megahertz. I use VSync is on. I have littlæe effect on. 3D graphics API is Vulkan, and a high quality anti-aliasing is on also by me. Then we have the graphics quality. I have only a AMD Radeon RX 6600 XT graphic card, so I can only run on high because I have only 8 GB of RAM. If you have a graphics card that has more than 8 GB, then you must go to Ultra. If you have a graphics card lower than the 8 GB of RAM, then you must go to High, because this simulator is a bit more demanding than Aerofly FS 2. Yeah. And here you can set the size of the user interface, and here you can send on some flight data to FS widgets, apps, and crash time, and see your IP address and broadcast IP port when you broadcast to the FS widgets app. So yeah, that's that. That's what's the settings. Then we have about. This just about the simulator. Then we can go out. We can start. We can have a career. We can have go to missions. We can select aircraft, locations, navigation, and conditions. I will tell you a little bit about this simulator compared to others. If we take a Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's a great visual stunning simulator where you have the whole world you can fly in. You have real weather, you have real ATC, you have a lot of planes, you have and you can do a lot of things in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. And that's the same in the X-Plane. You can do a lot of things in X-Plane. But this one is a bit special because it is optimized for VR. If you have a VR headset, you will get over 60 FPS in this simulator. If you are in Microsoft on the same graphic card, you will get lower FPS in VR than this simulator, and the same will explain. So this one here is optimized for VR. And but it cannot the same as the Microsoft Flight Simulator and the X-Plane, because this one it doesn't has real weather, it doesn't has ATC, it doesn't have seasons, it doesn't have rain, it doesn't have snow, there is no thunderstorms. You have good weather all the time, and one important thing you don't have either, that's water. All water is just photo scenery. You have no real water, so therefore there is no water plane in this simulator. And there is no life on the streets, there is no autogen. All objects is hand placed. They are using something they are calling cultivation. And in the USA, when you buy the simulator, in the USA you have high definition scenery. That will say that the satellite photo is in a high quality, but when you fly in Europe, you have only high quality scenery around the airports. And the simulator cost about 70 euros. So, and I will show you here on the locations where you can fly. We take here. Here we'll have the whole world. You have Europe, Canary Island. You can fly to the Azores, Norway or Sweden, but Greece is not included. Greece is missing from Europe, and you can fly here, but you cannot land anywhere. And some of the scenery is low with low details, but still a lot of cultivation. But the satellite scenery is not looking very good. But around the airports, it is looking better. And then you have a little bit of USA. You have from SeaTac down to Lex, up to Denver, and then you have Miami, and the Keys, and New York area. And I have here, before the end of 2022, we got also Washington DC and a new Black Hawk helicopter. But let's take it. We can look at the carrier. That's my carrier. I have 73 points. I have 21 takeoff, 5 landings, 5 airport to airport, and I have been flying 3 hours and 38 minutes, yeah, something like that. Achievements, yeah, what I have achieved, skill levels, yeah, not so good. I send flight. That's my log, where I have been flown. The logbook, here we can see what aircraft I have been flying with. And here's some statistic. You can go to missions, challenges. You can see here how long every mission is taking, and you get some points for the missions also. Here is the recommended challenges. We have the aircraft list. You can select which aircraft you will fly with. You can fly here, and then you can see here what missions there is from that aircraft. For that aircraft. Sorry for my English. And here you can see scheduled flights. That's the AE flights we have here in the simulator. So yeah. The first thing we do before we go out and fly, that's we take an aircraft. You can see here, we start with number 1. We have a Robinson helicopter, and we can fly in expert mode, and I have heard that the helicopter is very realistic. Then we have the Q400 from Bombardier. We have the Pitts. We have the P-38 Lightning. We have the MB339. We have the Learjet 45, the Jungmeister, the Tente U-52, the Corsair, FA-18, F-15, Extra 330, EC Eurocopter 135, Dr. E, Fokker Dr. E. We have the CJ 900 long range, and here you can see you can select some liveries. You have the Camel, you have the King Air, you have the Cessna, you have the BF-109E, you have the B-787-10, you have the B-777-300 extended range, you have the B-747-400, and you have the B-737-500, you have the Baron 58, you have the ASG 29, you have the A380, you have the A320, you have the Swift, and then we are back to the Robinson helicopter. But to show a little flight here, we will set up something. We will take a little plane and fly a little around. We just take the little Cessna here, go back, and then we go to the location. I will show you some of the scenery here. And I'm just here from a little town here up. There's not so much to see, so I think we just take Hamburg. I think the most of you are knowing the city in Germany, Hamburg. And we take off from here, and then we don't use navigation. Here we can make build a flight plane from Hamburg to another place in Europe or USA, but we don't do that. We go to conditions, we set the time, we set it to about 11 o'clock in the morning. Wind, we let it be as it is, and clouds, we let it be here as it is. Okay, then we are ready to take a little flight. We push the start button here, and we are ready to take off. Yeah, and we are now ready to take off here from Hamburg full. I think it was. It must be fingerword. Yeah. Then we can take a map here. Zoom in to see where we are. It was full spirit we are taking off from, and we can see the direction, and we can zoom out to 110 nautical miles. And we press the M key. We can also got all other information. We can put in the information board with the E on the keyboard, the I, where we can see the flaps, the throttle, the elevation, the direction. We can see go around in the plane with the 1 key on the keyboard, 1. We can see from outside here, from inside, from the back, from the right seat, and from the left seat. But let's take a little flight. We give it a little bit of throttle here, trying to stay on the center line. I give the plane full throttle. As you know, I am just flying for fun. I'm not a pilot. I have been flying in flight simulators since the 1990s. I start on the Commodore 64 with the sublogic flight simulator. And here you can see we have Hamburg. To the left you can see the famous radio tower in Hamburg. I hope you can hear me, but I can turn down a little bit for the sound. So we made a little left turn and go down to the harbor of Hamburg in our little Cessna. I think my frame rate now is about 60 or 70. And we can go outside to see the plane outside, and we can just, when you're flying in this view, you need to have this one so you can see what you're doing. And this is the town of Hamburg, but I look at the satellite scenery. It is not high definition, it is low definition. But the building should be in the right place, and you should have all the landmarks in Hamburg. I let the information in the top as stand, because we are still in the outside view. You cannot see my instruments, and I'm turning a little bit down here. We must go to the radio tower. The radio tower is there. And not far on the other side we have something in Blumen, I can see. And we go, we have the Harmony also, and some churches, yeah. I don't know how many of you that has been in Hamburg, and we have also this bunker here. I think we go back into the cockpit, and we remove this one. We go a bit down, then down to the left we have a church, and there is the Philharmonie, and I think we fly a bit to the left, bit to the left, to see the buildings nearby. You can see the simulator is flying very fluent, very smooth, no shaking, no stuttering, nothing. When I fly around in my Microsoft Flight Simulator that streams the scenery, it can come to stuttering sometimes. I have a fast internet for connection. I have 300 megabit via fiber away, up and down, so but it can still come to stuttering. And in the new Explain 12 beta 9, I use some scenery add-ons, so I have only about 20 FPS. That's a little bit too low, but in Explain 12 it is okay because it is still in beta. It is not a final product yet. I know 70 euros for this simulator is a bit much, but you have a lot of fun in it. And you can see that we have not seen some other airplanes yet. We will fly around a bit here and go back to see if we can find the landing brücke, and then we can land in the airport Finkenwerden. I think it is most, yeah. And you can look around in the aircraft. There's a lot of details. IPEX has done a great job with building this simulator. I like it really much because of the details and the airplane and the airplanes is made with love. You can see when we see the model. Look at the model. It looks better than in Explain in Microsoft Flight Simulator, in my opinion. But I don't know how many of you that have built this simulator and what do you think about it. I think you're welcome to write in the comments under this video what you think about this simulator. I know it is not perfect. Maybe we cannot carry the simulator because it has only static weather. It has no ATC, no air traffic control, it has no water, there is no life on the earth, and there is no life in the air in the moment. I don't know why, but okay. But I think the landscape looks good. If the satellite photos has been a bit better, it will be perfect. But the team that is developing this simulator is a little team sitting in, I think it's Switzerland or Austria, and they're only a team of 5 people. There is only 5 people developing this simulator. But if someone of you out there has a VR headset, and then you should try this simulator. It is very good. And if you buy it on Steam, as I has done, then you can try it for you can try it for 1 or 2 hours, and then you can get a refund if you don't like it. But even on a very old PC, this one will run very smooth. It is well optimized. And here in the front you can see the airport we land in. That's Finkenwerden. The Airbus airport. So we will try to land there. So therefore I will go back into the cockpit. I say I press the 1 key on the keyboard or the normal keyboard, and I go into here. We go outside to see that I have set 1 flag. And I remind you, I'm not good in landings. I have been flown for many years, but I only do things quick and dirty. I do not follow procedures or something like live pilots, because I'm not a pilot. I think it's just I'm flying just for fun. Many of you are hardcore simmers and are flying really well procedures and all that, and talking about what sim and all that. But this one here, just flying a bit for relaxing. I hope I get this plane down on the earth, and then we can. Then I will stop this recording. I'm a bit sorry for my English. I'm not perfect in English. I hope that you could understand me. And I know many of you will maybe criticize my landing here, but yeah, nobody is perfect. And for me, flying is just to have some fun here and relax a little bit. Don't think so much. So I will just go down here and see if I can come down here. Yep. I'm not landing in the middle. Oh, and hot. So too much power. So don't brake too hard. So where do I have my parking brake? I've forgotten. I have a parking brake somewhere. I must find it. So I found the parking brake. So yeah, I stopped the motor. Okay, good. So yeah, I will say thank you that you have been looking for this little video about the Aerofly FS4. I hope that maybe some of you will buy it and support iPads. You can buy it on Steam. With the high definition scenery and so on, it's about 200 gigabytes. So take some time. I hope you have a fast internet connection to download, but you don't need to stream anything here like Microsoft. So I will say thank you that you have been looking at my channel, and subscribe to my channel, because with my new mic here, I plan to make more things. Maybe I will make a live stream someday. Okay, thanks for now. Have a nice day.